y'all know the enemy, he been busy, but he don't get no victory. He don't get no victory. He gets no victory. I tell you, Mr. Voice, she been on the whole night. I tell you, she been on the whole night. I'm gonna go on and bring her on up in the studio because she been hanging around all night. She been ready. She been ready, y'all. And we have the poetess of the year. We have the poetess of the year representing Aspiring Authors Magazine in the building, y'all. She's in the building. She's in the building, y'all. I want to thank everybody that's been hanging out with me tonight, that's been hanging on, that's been hanging out, that's been hanging out. I tell you, I truly have enjoyed what has taken place, and I don't expect this hour to be less than what has taken place throughout tonight. So I'm gonna move on out the way because y'all know I'll get to talking, and that's not what it's about. I'm gonna allow these amazing queens, these poetess, to tell us a little bit about themselves. And I'm gonna start with Miss The Voice because y'all, she been hanging out. She been hanging out with me all night. Go ahead, lady. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Gratitude for being here. Gratitude for this platform and just a network of all this Black excellence in the room. I just want to thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part and to share. Keep doing what you're doing, Queen. This is amazing. And I can see why you are the visionary for the Crew podcast. So blessings to you. My name is Couture Hughes, aka The Voice, and I bring you greetings from Jackson, Mississippi. So I always say I'm a Cali girl with a sippy swag because I was born and raised in Cali. But I am a poet. I also am the owner and founder of Artist Streets LLC, along with a co-host, a co-founder, Andre Bilal. And we created that platform in 2020 during COVID when everybody was virtual, everybody was at home. So it was a perfect time to launch because it gave the people the vibe of being outside while we was inside quarantining. But that platform allowed for us to continue to get to know the people in our neighborhood who have evolved into artists and started following their dreams and really putting themselves out there using their God-given gifts. So we've been blessed to also have heard interviews where we can sit down and talk with them, where your featured poet of the year, Melanie Johnson, has also been featured on our show, heard interviews, and other poets as well, and singers, and just what other business that we might come into contact with, people who have small local businesses, Black owned. We use their products for giveaways on the show. So it has allowed us to come around full circle and just be a blessing while being blessed at the same time.
Wow, that's amazing. And thank you for being a voice and for all that you're doing. Wow.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of us tonight and sharing. Patrice, if you would please introduce yourself.
So my name is Patrice, and I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I am the host of SC Book Gals and Friends, and it is one of the members of the Crew podcast. What else can I say? I am an author. I haven't written a full book. I put some poems in some books, but I got something in the works with a friend of mine. We got something coming up. I'm a book reviewer. I'm now starting to promote books. So my world is books. My show is about bringing authors and readers together and making those connections every Saturday night, 8 p.m. See me tomorrow. Got another show. I do the review column for Aspiring Authors Magazine. I've been working at the library for 19 years. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff going on over here.
Wow. Well, thank you for joining us tonight and being a part of this showcase. Miss Melanie.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I could really make a book about her, but I'm gonna let her do that. I'm gonna let her do that.
Well, I'm not good at this part, Angela. Queen, thank you for inviting me on. I got a chance to meet Angela for the first time when we were all part of a monologue, a virtual monologue, and it was amazing to just work with you and to be a part of that project and to see your spirit come out of you. And that's why I knew that I was in the right place when I connected with you on Facebook. And my name is Melanie Johnson. They also call me the voice, but that is my sister right there. Her voice is, not only does she have a voice for the people, but just to hear her sing, because I don't even think that y'all heard her sing yet, but her singing is amazing. But I don't know what to say about me. I just do whatever I can to help people. I'm an educator, I'm a poet, I'm a photographer, I'm a publisher, I'm an author, and anything else I can do to help people. I'm a motivational speaker, and I allow God to let me use my voice to help people. About 5-6 years ago, I had a cousin who was found murdered, and I had come from a domestic violence situation, and I got out, and she didn't. And my aunt told me, she said, I think if you would have talked to her, then she might still be here. And that day, I said, my silence can be deadly. So I vowed to tell the Lord that I want to use my voice to be the voice to someone who can't speak for themselves, because that was me one day. So I try to use every platform I can, everything I can do to just get the awareness out there that you don't have to be in the situation you in. Anything that you can name, I've been there. Suicide, depression, um, domestic abuse, I've been there, and look, God brought me through. So I'm like a walking testimony. So whenever I can do that, I just praise God and give him the glory, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. But thank you once again for allowing me to share this platform.
Wow. But y'all, that was the voice of our 2024 Poetess of the Year. So you will definitely be seeing a lot of her throughout Aspiring Authors Magazine. And she don't know, but I might just put her on the spot tonight. But there's a spot on the Crew podcast just waiting for you if you are willing to take it. It is um, one Friday a night. I don't know if you are obligated on a Friday, but it's one Friday a month, and it's the second Friday a month that you would be able to take over if you want. It's yours. It's yours to allow your poetry and your voice to speak as you represent us for Poetess of the Year. So I've been meaning to email you, but sometimes I get caught up in stuff, and then I say I'm gonna do this, and it'd be 2-3 weeks later, but I'll get to it. But I couldn't allow this moment to pass without acknowledging that and letting you know that that is available. So no pressure, no pressure, no pressure at all. But know that it is available for you if you want it. But y'all, we move on along with this. This, of course, is open mic night, and this is the opportunity for you poets to be able to share your pieces, to be able to share what represents you on tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and allow you to flow how you would like to flow. So if you would, after you share your piece, if you want to, talk a little bit about your piece, why you wrote that piece, and tell a little bit about that piece, you're more than welcome to. And look, it may not be like any other open mic competition or whatever, open mic showcase or whatever, but it's about y'all and about y'all being able to share. So that's just what the flyer said. But hey, it's about y'all tonight. It's about your poetry, about your brand and your voice. So of course I'm starting with the voice. And if you want to sing a little bit, you can. The floor is yours. And we're going to away. It's yours. Huh?
Thank you so much. So the first piece I am sharing is called Writer. And I spelled it as in write, WRITE, and her. They call me a poet, but I say I'm just a writer. Well, not just a writer, but you got the right her. I am the epitome of all she was and has yet to be becoming. constantly growing and ever knowing that it's in my best interest to be about my Father's business because he knows the plans that he has for me. So I don't mind the dirt on my name because, see, I am the seed planted. Allowing myself to be deeply rooted in my gifts, I searched for my reflection in the mirror and found his image. Fearfully and wonderfully made, yet still a mess. But when I surrendered my all to Christ, my setbacks became wins, blessed. But not without any stress, because like you, I get tempted and sometimes I feel pressed, yet in him there's grace extended, so I pass test. Of course, Satan gonna try me because, see, I've got a calling on my life. That's why I won't settle for the friends with benefits hype, because I've evolved into the Proverbs 31 prototype wife. Yes, weapons still may form, but they'll never prosper. And even when I fall short of his glory, it doesn't change who I am, daughter. There's no need to physically fight. This is a spiritual thing. So I learned to slay those giants from my knees, praying. Friends may leave, but grace and mercy will follow me. So I encourage myself and choose to believe that better days are coming. I let go of the doubts and step into my calling so I can see myself there before my timing, faith walking. Now I meditate from a place of gratitude, adjusting my crown as many times as it takes to soften my attitude. And because I understood the assignment, I know it all works together for my good. Call it divine alignment. So when my own strength is failing, I know that God's is still prevailing. So I lean not into my own understanding, but I cling to his word that says, touch not my anointed and do my servant no harm. I can rest on his promises without ever seeing his plans, because I trust God's heart, even when I can't see his hands. And so that piece was just a reflection of everything that I am, everything I was, and everything I've yet to become. So acknowledging the growth, giving myself credit, extending compassion to myself and the same grace that God has already given me, because it's a journey. It is a journey. Faith walk is not easy, right? It's not straight and narrow. We refer to it as such, the straight and narrow way, but it's not straight and narrow. There are some crooked paths. There are some detours. There are some roadblocks where God says, no, not this way, this way. And then you find yourself having those real challenges of questioning your faith and questioning your belief and questioning everything you were taught and raised and asking, where is God in all of this? And so I chose to write because that's what I am, a writer. And I am the writer, which means everything is for my own good, right? Everything that's happening in my life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. So I had to shift my perspective so that I could change the narrative and take ownership of it and find the power within it, right? Because in all struggles, there's also strength. And see, I would have never known that. I would have never seen that if I hadn't had those setbacks, if I hadn't had that, what you call it, slingshot experience, where I'm pulled back so many steps ahead and I'm yet so many steps far back, but it's really just a slingshot experience, right? So I can launch forward and move forward and project further along than I was. If I got so distracted on where I was and how long I had been there, I would have never made it to where I am right now, nor would I be focused on where I'm going. I had to trust that no matter where I am, right, God is there. And no matter where I'm headed, he's already there, right? My father used to say, God rest his soul, don't worry about tomorrow. God is already there. And so it's just the comfort in knowing that our gifts are purposed for a purpose, and that we have this thing called divine alignment. So meeting people and networking with them is not just for the awe of it all, right? And like, oh, you do this and you do this. No. It's so we can come together in alignment, in agreement, right? And still be about our Father's business. Yeah. And so that's why I extend the utmost gratitude for you. And just seeing how it's all connected, because I recognize the faces even on this platform. I'm grateful to Mike again, my brother, who put me on and just introduced me to Angela. And then I didn't even know Melanie had already knew. It just, the Lord was already working. He was already working. And so I'm just grateful. And I hope that our platforms continue to give people the opportunity, like you said, to use their voices, because our voices matter. And the things that we write about, like I write from experience, I write from things that I've been through or going through, because that's somebody's truth as well. But
Yes.
I thank God for the ability to not look like what I've been through. And I'm able to write it in a way that it resonates with people, to show proof, right? The Bible says to test or to taste and see that the Lord is good, right? So that
Come on
test that
now.
we're going through, you're trying the Lord and testing him at his word to see, right, if he's going to show himself approved and show you approved, that yes, if you follow and study me, I'll show you better than I told you who you were in me. Yeah. And so I wasn't always this way. I can tell you that from just being honest. I wasn't always this way. Music was my first love, singing. And I thought that's where I had to stay in order to keep it safe. And then the Lord showed me, like, nah, you're a writer, you're a teacher, and you're going to teach these young people how to use their voice and speak their truth and walk in their purpose. And so I'm here now, really owning that space and being open to people who allow me to share that space with them. And I've been blessed thus far. The Lord don't disappoint.
Wow. 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 That's amazing. Like that is so amazing. Like I'm in tears over here, but I'm gonna move on, because what you just said, like this is what I say all the time. And Patrice, I saw over there doing all her emotions. I saw her, because what everything that you said, baby, and I say this all the time. You know, this world is yet so big but so small, because God know what we need, when we need it, how we need it, and when we gonna need it. And he's already aligned it. He said it in Jeremiah 29:11. He declared it in his word. He said it. He said, I got a plan for you. He said to prosper us, not to harm us, for us to have good health, hope, and a future. He declared that. So guess what? He declared that it has to come to pass. It's us, God. We have to align with that he had already ordained for us, because it's already out there. Just like you say, just like your daddy used to tell you, he's already in tomorrow. Because guess what? Tomorrow ain't gonna get here. You always gonna be in the now, baby. You always gonna be in the now. So you're gonna have to deal with now. So don't worry about tomorrow, like your daddy say, because it's gonna take care of itself. He already promised us that in the word anyway. He told us that. But yeah, God works in mysterious ways. He don't work in mysterious ways. It may seem like mysterious ways to us, and it may seem like, it's just far-fetched or whatever the case may be, but he's always working. And yeah, he do that. Like he would bring people together because he know what's needed for just that time. People voted for these individuals to be. Melanie was voted in. So people saw something in her. They saw something in her, and for her to be here, a lot of people will say that I had something to do with it, but no, I didn't. People voted. They saw it. I mean, they saw the thousands of people that voted for this young lady, and was sharing her stuff, and there. I just want to be obedient, and that is to allow these platforms just like this to allow people to know that they have a voice. And that you don't have to be in no way, you don't have to be no particular way to show up. All you got to do is show up, because he said over there, I ain't no Bible scholar now. Don't get me confused. I don't know a lot of, I know a little bit. I just know a little bit of experience from what I done been through. But he said somewhere over there in Exodus, he said, if you just be willing, if you open your mouth, he said he would tell you what to say. He'll say it for you. You'll get to talking, and it'll be your sound coming out, but it's all him. But you just got to be willing. But see, some of us, we won't move. Opportunity prevails, but we won't move. It's always an excuse, but he don't have no excuse. Excuses for the incompetent. If you're not incompetent, you don't need to be trying to come up with nothing. Let me move on out the way. I don't want to take up y'all time, because this is about y'all. Because I'm telling you, some people need to hear that. Somebody needed to hear that, baby. That what you just that word that you just spoke through that poem. Somebody needed to hear that tonight. So thank you for being obedient. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for allowing God to use you and to bring that forth in you. Patrice, You're up, baby. You next. Miss Melanie, get ready. Get ready.
Wow. Wow. That's wow. So I'm not a writer, and my writing start because of paint. Um, you can tell me 3 years ago that my world was the best thing ever. You can tell me that. You can tell me I was on this natural high, but lo and behold, it was just a facade that someone pulled over me. So I was going through some real dark places. And so my poem is called Diva, Diva. And this poem was really a conversation with myself. Like, okay, you got to find yourself. You can't stay in this pain. Okay. So it says, "Hey girl, where have you been? I'm so glad I'm able to see you again. You were lost for a moment, so understandable with everything going on. But look at you now. Diva is all I can say. Your skin is clear, your smile is bright. I see you and the father finally had that long conversation you've been avoiding. But look at you now. Diva is all I can say. You finally see what the father has placed you. Yes, I understand you have it was a lot to go through, but always remember the father had you. Trust and believe he saw every frown, he saw every tear, and on the other to whisper in your ear that I'm here. Plenty of times you would not listen, didn't think he was near, but look at you now. Diva is all I can say. Walk in the power that he has placed in you. Walking past the hurt and the pain and finding new love in yourself for yourself. Diva is all I can say. I wrote that poem one night when I was at a wall. I had placed my heart in a relationship, been through so much with it, just to have it gone. And when I say gone, I mean just like that. But it's funny because God used that person to put me in so many terms where I am right now to say, you know what, chick, you got this. I got you. So what you worrying about? You've been had all this in you, but you helping somebody else out, and I had to bring it out in you also. So Angela could tell you, me doing this right here was never happening. And I remember when she came to me and I was like, I ain't trying to talk to who on a computer. No, I ain't trying to hear that. But just me listening and listening to God and say, you know what, I can't. I'm tired. I'm hurt. This is pain. I've known this person for all these years growing up, and now I'm here empty handed because I didn't give it all away. And he filled my cup up, y'all. And when I say filled, he overfilled it. This past week, I was in a room with a bunch of African American librarians. Y'all, me, little old me, I'm a specialist. I don't even have a degree, but I'm sitting. When he said he's going to make a seat at the table for you, he made that seat. He created the whole table. I had to call Angela. I did what was it, a voicemail I did? Or some voice text that I sent Angela? I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I went through this and he knew what he was doing. He said, I got to toughen you up. You're a little too soft. You're a little bit too timid. So now I look forward to these Saturday nights. I look forward to these conversations with God. Be like, okay, God, what are we going to talk about today? You know, and to see my daughter look at me and say, Mommy, I'm proud of you. This is the same little girl who saw the tears that I cried when I was going through my divorce. In this, like, 3 years, and now I'm here. You knew what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. You know exactly what you were doing. So I sit here and I tell him, keep on. So I see his blessings upon my kids, upon my job, upon my son. Like, we we're walking in blessings. And I told God, please don't ever take me from here. If you're going to make me uncomfortable, make it easy, which I know you were going to make it easy. But come on, let me enjoy this for a little while before that next, storm come along, because they're going to come. They are going to come, y'all. As God is our witness, the storms are going to come. But I asked God, come on, man, let me enjoy this for a little while. This feels good. Let me buff up my manpower. And then you can bring the next one on. Then we can slay it together. But where I am right now is so beautiful. And I thank God because he knew what he was doing. So, yeah. All right. I'm stopping getting emotional because y'all about to cry.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. And I just have to say something because this young lady, about 2 years ago, I begged her to write a poem. Like I had to force her. I literally had to force her. Like she skipped on me, y'all, and she's into the books, but she skipped on me in the middle book, y'all. So she's not in the middle book, so she skipped out on me. So I literally had to her out of her comfort zone. See, that's what I tell people: don't come around me and let me see that you got something in you.
She will.
He don't gave me he don't gave me an eye to see past all that fleshly stuff that you got going on. He don't gave me an eye to see past that, because I ain't seeing that. I'm seeing what's on. I'm seeing them gifts, them gifts that he said he don't gave us, y'all. He said he gave us gifts, y'all. He gave us gifts and talents, and guess what? He gave them to us to use. He ain't gave them to us to sit on. He gave them to us to walk around with our shoulders stuck out, our chest stuck out, and be looking down on folks. That's why he gave it to us, y'all. He gave it to us to help uplift somebody and to share his goodness, y'all. Because guess what? That you've been through, guess what? Somebody else went through it too. They got over there. They overcame it. He hung on the cross for us. Y'all, what he bore them in his hand. Them scarred hands for us, so that y'all, we can have the right to not even have to go through half of the stuff that we put upon ourselves. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we put upon ourselves when we have the power. He's given us the power. You better know that breath that he breathed into you, Genesis 2:7. Yeah, that right there. When he said, yeah, he breathed that into you. That's life. You didn't need no alarm to wake up this morning. You didn't need nobody to come tap you and wake you up. He did that. He did that. And just as he woke you up this morning, because he extended that grace and that mercy, that talent that you got, that thing that you sitting down on. Because see, somebody out there, and I'm gonna have to say that, somebody out there that was supposed to be on here tonight because they had books, they had stuff that God has put in them that they were supposed to share, and this was supposed to be the platform, but you chose not to. Why are you sitting on? You ain't sitting on me, baby. You sitting on the one that created you, the one that put it in you. That's why we better stop picking and choosing because what somebody done said. You better find out if that's what you supposed to be for yourself, and stop worrying about the next person. I'm telling y'all better get that. But y'all, I'm gonna move on out the way because y'all know I'll go somewhere else. Like, I don't know what it be, but it just gets on me sometime. And I don't know, y'all. But I'm gonna move on out the way because this next one, y'all think that first one, y'all, that woke you up. I'm telling you, y'all shook something. I just imagine what the next round gonna be. But this one right here, y'all, I can just imagine because y'all, she said we was in a monologue together. We did a monologue together, a virtual monologue, a play. Y'all, I don't had to call this lady names. I don't had to be mean to this lady. I don't had to, I don't had to be mean to her, a part of that play. I didn't want to do it. Like, I used to be like, is you okay? Y'all, I had to be mean to her. I had to call her name. But y'all, tell you, Charita had two too. So I ain't doing it by myself, y'all. She had to do it. Travita had to do it too. But y'all, we
She
did it in
did.
love. We did it to show other people.
Yes.
We did it to show other people that hey, this happens. But because it happens, look at her now. Look at her now. Because y'all don't understand that
God
a
be
lot
the-
of stuff that we prayed in this monologue, y'all, it happened in our lives.
It did.
Y'all,
It did.
this happened as going through this, like, okay, as we was training and practicing for this play, I lost my cousin, and that thing wrenched my soul, y'all, because it was unexpected. It was something that just shook me. It my part of the play was about. My our sister Cheryl, her part of the play was about getting a diagnosis. She was gonna
Mm-hmm.
get diagnosed with cancer of the liver, but yet, y'all, she ended up getting diagnosed with breast cancer in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Every trial and tribulation we endured in that monologue, y'all, happened in our lives.
Yes.
But yet
It
we here.
did. Yeah.
But yet uh, we are yet here. See, everything happened for a reason. God bring us all together for a reason because He knew we was gonna need to pull on each other and we was gonna need to share these stories with somebody else. Because what we overcome by hearing the testimonies, and if you don't share it, how can somebody hear?
Amen.
Let me move on out the
Amen.
way. Melanie, um, come on up. It's your turn. It is your turn.
Now, Katira, you know I'm a crier, so if y'all see me wiping tears, y'all already know. Um, this poem, I wrote it um, because it's based on my experience being a domestic abuse survivor, and I wanted to share it live on Katira's platform once, but I had um, a previous engagement, so I recorded it, but I wanted to do this one tonight because it embodies what a woman like me had to go through. And I wanted others to know that they're not alone in this plight. And it's entitled The Light in Darkness. Let there be light. That's what I was waiting for, hoping for. I could take no more darkness. I lost my fight. I lost my sight. No, I was not all right. I wanted it to end, no longer to pretend that I was just fine. I wanted to breathe again, not just shallow, deep. I could not keep sucking wind. I wanted to just sleep without weeping. Yet these thoughts were seeping into my mind. But why couldn't the light just creep in and show me there was hope before I felt like I couldn't cope anymore? Wait, I see a door, but I'm stuck to this floor in a paralyzed state, paralyzed by the fear, paralyzed by the pain, paralyzed by the unknown. But what would I gain from leaving this life? Wait. Through the door, I see a light. In the deep darkness, it shines so bright. I can't let go. I fight in spite of the fact that my own actions put me here. Regurgitating pills that could have ended me, an act so severe for a wish to just disappear, but what turned out to be a mere catalyst for the rebirth of me. A woman previously bound who fought to be free, who laid all the pain aside to experience what she could not see, a life of unknown opportunity. No longer afraid to live and unafraid to die, now confidently able to search for her why, all because she desired to endure the pain. Influenced by her mentor and supporters, a healthy mindset she did obtain and vowed to remain faithful to the one who loved her true, the one she barely knew. But through this light, she began to view as powerful, knowledgeable, and courageous too, because she made it through what many couldn't do and strives every day to begin anew. with love, kindness, and a clear sense of who she is to be. A woman who loves herself, a woman who loves life, and vows to live it unapologetically. Thank you. Now, that piece I wrote from the pain of being a domestic abuse survivor, and I was remembering the last time, not the only time, but the last time I attempted to take my life by taking pills. And I wasn't supposed to be here. It was only me there in that house with a dog. And I laid there and I planned it that way because at the time my husband wasn't supposed to show up for about 3 days later. So I planned it that way, but God had a different plan. So I wanted this poem to remind people, others out there who are thinking the same thing. Our plan is not our God's plan. His way is not our way. Sometimes life can look so bad and you can say, I'm never going to get out of this. And you feel like you don't have anyone you can talk to. Reach out. Don't be afraid to talk. It is not your fault. Don't blame yourself for the situation you're in. Because my thing was, I kept hearing in my head, you made your bed hard, you got to lay in it. God said, no, bring it to me. Come to me. I got you. And he put people in my life that had me. And you're looking at a person that couldn't look themselves in the mirror about 8 years ago. But God has saw it fit now that not only can I look at myself in the mirror, I've written books, I've written poetry, I've been on podcasts, and I'm actually using my voice and my image to help build others up because there was a time when I needed someone to build me up. And we have a habit of keeping silent because we don't want people to think bad of us. Nobody's going to think bad of you. Reach out. Don't suffer in silence. You cannot do this alone. God sent us here as testaments for each other. So speak. Let your voice be heard because you don't know who needs to hear what you have to say. And I'm gonna stop because I'm crying. Y'all, I tried to do my makeup, but it's gonna be gone by the end of the night. But I thank everybody. I want to say this. I thank everybody who voted for me because I never, and you'll see my article in the April edition. The first words of my article is, I'm not a poet, because that's what I told C.T. Miller, who told me I was a poet and who pushed me to write some poetry. I said, I'm not a poet. He said, you just don't know it yet. Yes, you are. So I just like to thank him, Kateri, all of you guys for pushing me, supporting me, everybody who voted for me, thank you. Because I asked God to put me in situations that I normally wouldn't be in so that I can help somebody else. And if my poetry can help somebody, God knows I'm going to share it. So thank you guys so much.
Wow.
Melanie, I just have to chime in right here because I remember when you said that we inspire you. And I remember when I did my poem, Broken Records Still Spin, and you turned around and wrote Broken Mirrors Still Reflect. And I was just in awe. I said, look at this poet that says she's not a poet. My God, today.
Wow.
Yes, I was so inspired by that. I wrote a journal. And
I'm gonna need you to let that stay right there. Because everybody knows I am known pull out my phone and taking pictures of books. Got you, girl. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Man.
And this is actually a journal. It has poetry in it, but it has pages for you to write. But I was so inspired by her piece, Broken Records Still Spin, and it just resonated with me. And I thought about those broken records, and I felt broken at the time. So I was like, you know what? I can't even look at my own image because it's broken. But you know what? Those broken images show the full version of me. I just can't focus on those little pieces. So that's why I wrote that piece. And yes, I was going to remind you of that. Thank you for bringing it to my memory.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Like I'm just sitting here listening to all of y'all just different pieces and just like wow. 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 Because a lot of times, like I got a 3-book series over here, Silently Hurting Inside, Hurt No More. Because we hurt inside and we hold it in and we think that nobody else is going through what we're going through. But like you, I refuse to hurt in silence anymore. I refuse to be embarrassed by the things that I had to go through to make me who I am today. Like I had to go through that domestic violence, so I couldn't tell nobody about my experience because somebody's going through just what I went through. But if I had not gone through it, I couldn't tell nobody. I couldn't tell nobody how I tried to end my life. If I had not going through suicide, I wouldn't have been able to tap into the other 20 people that wrote in that suicide awareness book. If I had not been able, if I had not experienced these things, we sometimes we go through these experiences and we think that it's always the enemy. It's always the enemy at us. But sometimes God got to allow us to go through these things to build that character that we say we got or we won't. He had to allow us to go through these things. But guess what? He said he was not going to leave us nor forsake us. So guess what? While we going through it, he right there with us. Look at them footprints in the sand. Yeah. All them times when you thought you was alone, you only saw one set of footprints. Guess what? The other one, guess who footprints they was? They weren't yours. Because you weren't carrying yourself. I'm telling you, he always know what we need and how we need it, and he will always send the right person. See, no, you may not thought that you are a I say a wordsmith, a words person, because you may not have the rhyme, you may not have the flow. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm not I used to say I'm not a poet, but I guess I am a poet. I got poetry out, so I'm a poet, and I said proudly, now I'm a poet. Yeah, now say something. I'm a poet. I may not rhyme like you. I may not have that flow. I ain't no spoken word artist. Now I can tell I ain't even finna lie about that. I ain't even finna step out there in that water, because that water is another whole. You got to be ready for that. I'm talking about you got to be on your P's and Q's, and I tell you got to be a special person for that, because you got to be able to feel that in order for it to float away, like she was doing when she first come on here showing out. But I know she was just being her. She wasn't showing out. She was just being her. But that's what I say, showing out, because she was on point with it. You know what I'm saying? And she just showed up and he showed out. So it is what it is. But you got to be in a special place for that. But for you guys to just allow God to use words to speak and be that voice, I thank y'all for that. Because y'all could have chose to do any other thing. Like she said, she did music. She could have chose to put that in some lyrics and put it in a song. But she decided to put it in poetry for that person that may not, listen to music, or that person that need this, because these are these greater works that he talks about. That's what y'all are doing, and y'all allowing those gifts to come forth. So I thank y'all. And those pieces, like I'm gonna need I'm gonna need some copies. So I don't know what y'all gonna have to do to get me some of that. If they in books, then I guess I'm just gonna have to buy the book. But I need some of those pieces. I got Diva, I already got that. But I need that first piece you spoke. We finna spit some more, so y'all get ready. But some of these pieces, I need some of these pieces, y'all, because not only did I want to hear them here tonight, I want to be able to share them. Like I can put them in on the blog, I can put them in that magazine. Like I don't mind sharing, and that's one thing you gonna know. I don't mind sharing. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We ain't gonna do no commercial. We ain't got more commercials, y'all. So if you're waiting for a commercial, they your commercial. We ain't got no more commercials. I want to hear these words. So we're gonna go back up here to the voice, and we about to let her spit, y'all. Y'all be ready. Come on, come on, come on.
All right. So let's share another piece. But before I do, I'm going to give you a little snippet of music since y'all done put me out there. All right. Darling, I love you. I think the world of you. I'm nothing without you. Yes, you're everything to me. Darling, I love you. And every day with you is more beautiful, 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 beautiful. We stood at a distance, with even greater distance between us than we could explain. Seems all that we know now is resistance and pain. I mean, we sacrificed and expected to gain. We took turns casting the blame and still struggled to let the past remain the past. Feeling the pressure of will we last and never having the courage to ask, what's it going to take? Because see, you and I have made so many mistakes and compromised on things that we never thought we would. And I dreaded being more than your girlfriend because by the time I'm your wife, I best be understood. From moments to memories while life makes a fool of you and me. But like splattered paint, we were to find the beauty in the chaos. But I knew no matter how I pictured us, you would never frame it. You'd wait until it's too late and let someone else claim it. See, we've conquered battles together and still managed to find ourselves at war. Both of us want out, but no one walks away. Both of us are fed up, and yet we find reasons to stay. These issues are so deeply rooted, causing you and I to constantly stay into it. You're right, I'm wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. They right, we wrong. They wrong, and we right. Hence why we fuss and fight and try to balance our lives between opinions, truths, and lies. Change came like a thief in the night, stealing our hearts with fabricated dreams, allowing us to see that things are not always as it seems. But we believed it, made each other feel invincible to it, and became the epitome of what we thought we needed. Imagine that. You and I putting our love on the map, giving it a location, so much that we trusted each other's navigation without ever questioning the direction of this relationship. Because see, we both know how to set sail, but we lack the understanding of how to anchor it. So now we just afloat. And to our closest friends and family, we a joke. Unstable and unhappy, frustrated and disappointed, but we made the executive decision to move forward. I mean, we acted on it with plans of being together forever without a blueprint for the here and now. Dilemma. So that piece, I always start off with that song, which is an original song that I wrote, but it's just a snippet of it. It's not the whole thing, but it's just saying, I love you. And I feel like I'm nothing without you. And every day with you is more beautiful, right? Learning and growing together. And that's usually how it starts, right? That infatuation phase, that puppy love. But then we get into the thick of it, as these young folks say, into the thick of it. And it starts wilding. And you start to question, what are we doing? What is this? Who are you? Who sent you? Right? Because it shouldn't be this complicated. And love isn't complicated. And love defined by the word of God, show enough, ain't complicated. It's unconditional, right? It's unapologetic. It's in good and bad times, right? It's without ego. It bears all things, right? But a lot of us aren't in relationships with people that equate to that. We settle. We settle because I saw a quote that said, you settle for people, places, and things because you think that's what you deserve. Because you think that's what you deserve. So because we don't know we deserve better, we don't even realize we settling. I'm gonna let y'all let that marinate. That's a whole nother word. But it was so profound to me, and it made sense because we are what we attract. And so if I'm attracting hurt people, broken people, it's because there's still some part of me that's unhealed. There's still some part of me that I'm still growing through or haven't even acknowledged, right? And so when somebody triggers you, they bring it out of you, and now you wonder why you're flustered and why you keep having problems, because it's two unhealed people trying to be together instead of two unhealed people trying to heal and love and be loved by the ultimate love, which is God. So I used to say that, it's okay to be broken, and it is, because you have pieces that fit. But you also have to be mindful there are some people who are broken and they're okay with being broken and staying broken because they like to cut, and they cut deeply. And so when it comes to relationships, we're not asking the right questions. We're not asking, what are your intentions, right? And we're just allowing people to be in our lives and take up space. We're not praying with discernment and asking God, is this person meant to be in my life? Is this my person, or do I have somebody else's person, right? And so when I wrote that dilemma, I was very symbolic about how we find the beauty in the chaos, or how we, try to reason with ourselves and say, oh, I don't know a couple that doesn't argue, or I don't know a couple that's not having problems, or yes. But I also say I should be worth the heaven and hell that I come with. It should not be this season of drought, this season of struggle, this season of looking and wondering where is God's favor and wondering if I'm still a part of his will now that you're here. Yeah. So I feel like that really is why a lot of our relationships don't work, is because, number one, we don't love ourselves. Number two, we don't know who God is, which is the ultimate love. And number three, we settle for anything that we think is love, because we don't know that we're settling and that we deserve better. And that's a problem. So therefore, the title of the poem is called Dilemma.
Dilemma. That I love that. And yes, you can sing. Yes, you can. And I love that poem. I'm telling the people, like, y'all getting a snippet, because I know that this is just a snippet of what these amazing people can bring to the table. Like, you just hearing a snippet. You ain't even getting the whole effect. Like, come on, y'all got to go follow them. I've been sharing it. How they can follow you? Tell them one more time, because I want them to go over. Look, go follow now.
On Facebook, family, you can find me as Couture Hughes, just my name. You can also find Artist Streets LLC on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find Artist Streets, and it is spelled ARTI STREETZ. And then on Instagram, you can find me, The Voice, DAVOICE PQ, and that's my name on Instagram. But on Facebook, it's just Couture Hughes. But Artist Streets is on both Facebook and Instagram. And so when we have our Heard interviews with different artists, poets, singers, rappers, storytellers, and people who own small businesses, you'll be able to see it stream live, just like you're doing here on YouTube, StreamYard, and all that.
Wow, that's cool. I like that. I'm gonna have to make sure I follow you guys too. If I'm not following y'all, I have to make sure I'm following you guys. I want to thank you for stopping by tonight. Patrice, you ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You up next? Y'all, it's almost over. It's almost over. I don't want to let y'all go. But I know y'all gotta go. I know y'all got other stuff to do, but I truly, truly appreciate y'all stopping by and sharing with me tonight. I don't want this to be over, but I know. Patrice.
Y'all, Lord, this company is just, oh, wow. Okay, so if you really know me and you follow me, you know I love erotica books. Okay? He ain't through with me yet. He understands. So this one I actually wrote for a friend of mine. Like I said, I'm not a poet. I'm not an author. So Okay. It's called For One Night. For one night, I want to be in your arms. You holding me tight, never letting me go through the night. For one night, all my dreams are peaceful because of you, holding me in your arms just like you do. For one night, your lips are so much more sweeter. Tonight, I wish I kiss can last forever, longer than last night. It's something about tonight. You holding me in your arms like you do. That one night is now just about tonight. When we first met, I never knew I would feel this way. As I look into your loving eyes, I see love, and a love that I hope would never die. You hold me in your arms with a warm embrace. For one night, that turned into two nights. In your arms is the only place I want to be. But for that, I don't want that to be tonight. I want that to be forever. To be with the one that I love, which is you, holding me in the arms just like you do tonight, for one night and forever. I feel like now my dream has come true. So I do like to get it saucy, and I am hoping that I can truly feel this love that I have, because I do feel that God has love out there for me, even after what I went through. But the love that God is showing me right now is just way more than anything else I can get. So I'm waiting patiently, but that dream will come true. So that's it.
How can they follow you and support you?
Oh, so on Facebook, I am Patrice Grimble. That's Patton Rice. And my last name Grimble, Grimball. And everything on other platforms is SC Book Gal. There are two. So I am SC Book Gal 843. And my group is SC Book Gals and Friends. So follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Yes, we still on Twitter. I don't
What's
know
the
why.
last name again?
Grimble, Grimball. Um, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to get your book reviewed, come on over here. And also, I will see everybody in either Charleston or Columbia when we get a spot for AAA LAC. So that's me.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing and being transparent, because I tell y'all, I had to push her. She didn't think she had anything to share, but I knew that, her journey and the things that
Really
she
did.
had been going through, that she needed to share. She needed to let somebody know that in spite of me going through, I'm pressing, I'm still showing up, I'm still doing, what he's purposed me to do. Maybe I've had a setback, maybe I've had a letdown, maybe I've had a disappointment, but I can't allow that to stop me, because see, sometimes we allow things to stop us in the track, in our track, and then we never recover from that. We keep making excuses, and it just go year after year after year, and then we wake up one day and then we wonder how we got there, and then we fighting to get out, and then sometimes we can find our way, and sometimes they don't find their way. But I definitely thank her for stepping out the box. I'm gonna move on out the way because Melanie got to share another piece before we go. I can't leave without hearing another piece from Melanie.
Come
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Now, this last piece I'm going to do is it's a little lengthy, but one of my students asked me to share it. And when a student asks me to do something, I try to be obedient. This one is entitled I Am. A name is more than a label. It describes the character of you, the emotions you feel, the thoughts you have, even the things you do. There's an importance placed on that title, making it vital that you don't sit around idle, but instead do those things that make you proud to say upon your arrival. I am Harriet. Harriet Tubman, conductor of the Underground Railroad. Born a slave, I risked my life to escape, and 13 missions and help others find their freedom along the way. 13 missions I helped to save, and not one life was lost on either one. But saving slaves was not where I was done. I worked for the Union Army, from cook to nurse to spy, and I wouldn't change any of it. Why? Because my name represents the strength of a woman's sacrifice. And that's why I'm glad to say I am Sojourner. Sojourner Truth, abolitionist and women's rights activist. I was slavery born, but that I did not stay, though my owner would try to have it the other way. I endured harsh treatment and trading from several of them until when I fell in love with the love of my life. They tried to condemn us, beating him and keeping us apart. And with a broken heart, I escaped with my daughter, having my son taken from me. I helped to lead others to become free, traveling the Underground Railroad, helping them find places to go, but I didn't stop there. Oh no. I was the first Black woman to win a case against the white man. Yes, I sued to get my son back and hold him in my hands, but that victory was not mine alone, because my name is now well known, for I am Rosa. Rosa Parks, civil rights activist. Early in life, I created garments with my hands, but later I became known for taking a stand against the corruptness of this land, segregating the world in black and white, indicating to be right, your skin had to be light or you would suffer, even without breaking the law, unless they saw an opportunity to change it, rearrange it, like moving the colored signs on the bus, trying to make them superior to us, until one day I refused. You see, I had heard on the news of the acquittal of the murderers of Emmett Till, and on this day, I was determined I will not move from my rightful place just to make room for their race. Yes, I was tired of all the mistreatment, and it shone on my face. This brave act started a movement. With the Montgomery boycott, we marched for the improvement of the treatment of all. And no, I wasn't the first to answer the call, but together we stood and united we'd fall. So I vowed to never quit. And I'm glad that on that day, I decided to sit, because I forever will say, I am Michelle. Michelle Obama, former First Lady of the United States. Coming from Chicago's South Side, I learned early not to let my situation devalue my pride. My parents worked hard to provide for me the kind of education which allowed me to think freely. Working hard despite meager beginnings, meeting opposition that I wouldn't let alter my position. No, I was on a mission to educate myself and not let this brilliant mind sit on a shelf. I worked hard to achieve the highest of honors in high school, college, and even beyond. I did not sit back and wait to respond. I went after what I wanted. Along with Barack and the city streets we pounded, working for the betterment of the community. I did not know the opportunity that would lie ahead. Nevertheless, I continued without dread to serve the people, showing those along the way that they could achieve their dreams no matter what others might say. Don't give up, persevere to the end, because one day you'll win on the world's biggest stage. Your life is remarkable. You can compete no matter the color, religion, or age. I had no idea the title that would await. First Lady of the United States. Yes, I am Harriet. I am Sojourner. I am Rosa. I am Michelle. I am you. Yes, you. Just like those before, you have the ability to. You can make a difference that can change someone's course. Your strength and determination are formidable forces. The lives sacrificed before you were there to reinforce that you can be what you want to be. Live your life unapologetically free. Blaze a trail for others to see themselves in you, so they too can know what it's like to say, hello, ma'am. Allow me to introduce myself. I am. Thank you.
And I want to know when you're going to make that into a children's book. I'm going to need you to go ahead and do this.
Wow.
I'm like visualizing the pages as you're. I'm going to need you to go ahead and make that in children's book.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Everybody loving it. Well,
Thank
Melanie, how can people reach out and support the things that you're doing, and stay connected with you.
All my links are on Linktree. This link linktr.ee/Melanie Johnson. But on Facebook, you can follow me using my name Melanie Johnson, and on IG, I'm at Melanie Johnson Speaks. I do have other books that I wanted to show. This is my poetry book. It's on Amazon. It's called Flavor of Melanin, and it's my first poetry book. I'm working on the second one now, so I'm trying to put it where you can get the picture. There you go. And the first book I ever wrote was entitled Womanly Wisdom, What They Couldn't Tell Me. Now, this is my book about my life as a domestic abuse survivor. So just follow me on IG, Facebook, connect with me, look for me on Linktree. I'm on TikTok, but I'm just getting started on that platform. But thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you, Queens, for sharing your poetry, because it was a beautiful night. All of them. I've been listening all night, and they were all beautiful.
Yeah, I tell you, I have truly, truly been blessed to be in the midst of all of the queens that have come forth on tonight. I tell you, I wouldn't have it any other way. And everybody being able to share how they share, and not being feeling bad about how they share and what they sharing. Just being that voice. It's very important to be a voice, and I'm grateful for poetry, because I never thought I was a poet. Never thought I was a writer, because you talking about a little country girl from Levelland, South Carolina, places people never heard of, one way in and one way out. Never thought I would be a podcaster. Never thought I would be on another network. Never thought I would be done. None of this. 4 years I've been podcasting. I celebrate 4 years on the WBNN next month. I was the first host to hit 27 million over there. So y'all got to come check me out. May 1st, y'all. It's going to be my next show, May 1st. I will have, matter of fact, this young lady is going to join us here on the Crew Podcast as a host. Her name is Simone Williams Young. She's going to be joining us as a host, but she's going to be one of my guests on May 1st. She's going to be stopping by. We're talking about purpose. Y'all know I talk about purpose. Everything purpose is what I'm about. I want to hear about your purpose and what you're doing in this world. And we're going to share it to over 27 million people, y'all. I'm going for 28 for the next show. So y'all, that means y'all got to come and support me so I can get that next record. Y'all was the first host. Like I'm over there with I'm like, thank you, God. You did it. I showed up. You told me to go, so I went, and you did it for me. 27 million. I was the first host on the network. The network has been in existence for 13 years, and I've only been over there 4 years, y'all.
Look at the Lord.
4 years.
Right, girly.
I am truly. When you just humble yourself and just align to what God is telling you, even when you don't understand and when you don't see it, if you would just be obedient, because you ain't always gonna be able to trace him, and you ain't always gonna be able to see it, but you got to hold fast that his word is true and that it's not gonna return to him void. And I'm telling you, I stepped out and I believe that, because I'm telling you, I would have been still in that box over there and we wouldn't be right here tonight, y'all. But I stepped out on faith. And last year he saw fit in November to allow me to get inducted into the International Internet Radio Hall of Fame for broadcasting. I was named the host of the year, and y'all, I wear that proudly, because my peers, those that work amongst me, those that are a part, and it's 21 of us over there, y'all. But out of 21 hosts, they thought me worthy. Me. Somebody that don't press one all the time and get on there and talk, but I be listening. They chose me. They said that girl doing something over there. Yeah, they chose me as host of the year. So I try to show up, and I try to use those things that he's given me. So when he dropped this in my spirit, I said, you know what? I said, Lord, you send those that need to be showcased on tonight. and you allow them to show up. And I tell you, I have truly been blessed on tonight. And I know that everybody that has tuned in have been blessed. So I just want to thank y'all. It is now 9:03, and I'm gonna end this tonight because I have had y'all on, and some of y'all been riding the whole night. I'm talking about y'all been on since 6 o'clock, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I just want y'all to share these queens out, share their links. And if y'all would, if I missed a link, if I didn't post something, if y'all would go in this thread later on and post how people can connect with y'all. That's what I want to do. I want people to be able to connect with y'all. And I want everybody that was on here tonight to know if there's anything that I can do to assist you on your journey as an author, poet, business owner, whatever it is. If I can run a video on our podcast, if I can put an ad in the magazine, whatever I can do to help showcase your brand and to help people know who you are, y'all, just reach out. It ain't about money. It is about us doing what our part in the kingdom. In the
Amen.
kingdom, somebody out there need to hear and see what you got going on. Again, y'all, I thank y'all. I love y'all. Anything y'all want to say before we close out? Anything?
I just want to say again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank those who voted for me for Poet of the Year. And I just ask that y'all continue to pray for each and every one of us, that we continue to work the will that God has for us in our lives.
Amen. 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 Anything, Patrice?
Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8 o'clock here with a new author. We're just going to chit chat it out.
Awesome.
Amen. Amen. Well, I definitely want to thank all those that have tuned in tonight, all the comments. I'm telling y'all got to go check that thread out because y'all have had some great comments. Some people have been commenting. They appreciate y'all just as I do. And I thank each and every listener that has tuned in, that has watched, and those that's going to hear this as a replay. I hope that you have been blessed by something that you have heard. Go over, support these amazing queens because they are definitely doing what they are called to do. Y'all have a great night, and please make sure you are supporting the Crew Podcast. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.